it up for Ohio State.
You've waited all day for this.
Don't let that team stand away. He's going to take it to the house. 85 yards. Down the right side going Devin Smith. Got it at the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown.
The one show that's nothing but the Buckeyes.
Oh, Brad Rucker for the touchdown. Kraft shoots it high on the right for 3.
This is the Buckeye Show.
Here we go on a wet and wonderful Wednesday. I'm Brandon Beam. He is Austin Ward. We got our guy Nate Dogg behind the glass. Hey, Ward Sports, happy Wednesday to you, my friend.
It is a beautiful Wednesday, and it's great to be sitting right across from you.
Yeah, it's nice to actually be in an office and be somewhere and not on the road, because I don't know how your drive-in was today, but mine was awful. And I don't know if that was because of the rain. I don't know what was going on. 315, Olentangy, everything was just straight up gridlocked. Like, it was awful.
People love driving in the rain.
Yeah, they do.
I think it was just a sightseeing mission. Just slow down, cruise, enjoy that view of downtown Columbus.
All I was looking at was red lights. I was just looking at brake lights the whole drive-in.
You gave me the heads up. Hey, it's bad. You might want to get on the road.
Yeah.
All right, fine. I'll see you soon.
Everybody out there stuck in traffic, I do apologize. You're going to get to your destination just fine. Know that I and Austin and probably Nate were with you today when we were driving in.
And now, though, we're going to try and just brighten up that drive, that commute, by talking Buckeyes.
By talking Buckeyes. That's right. We got a shorty tonight. Inside Edge coming up at 7 o'clock. We'll see what Bobby Mack and Dylan Tyre are talking about tonight. Excited to get to listen to those guys. In our next segment, we'll do Austin's question of the day. Who's going to be starting next to Caleb Downs? We'll get into that a little bit later on. 6:30, we'll do the college football pulse. Dabo is a little bit confused. We got Kirby wanting the best teams in the playoffs. All kinds of good stuff with that. We'll start off, though, more camp storylines. Austin, we were talking about Matt Patricia last night and honing in on that, and just the robust brain that he has to be able to decipher a defense and fit his players into the best scheme, perhaps. I thought you were making some interesting points. We're going to go across the line, and we're going to go to Brian Hartline now. Part 2 of him being an offensive coordinator. We obviously know a couple of years ago, Ryan Day took the sticks back, said, I'm not ready to give that up quite yet. You bring in Chip Kelly last year, co-offensive coordinators, Brian, Ryan, and Chip, right? And the three-headed amigos. They called a very wonderful season, and you ended up with a national championship. What are you most interested about with Brian Hartline? One, let alone the learning experience that he got with Chip Kelly, and probably a different Ryan Day, too, having his mentor there in the building for 1 year, helping out. But now we know that he's a terrific wide receivers coach. We know that. We've seen it. His recruiting prowess is unbelievable. The development is unbelievable. What are you most interested to see in Brian Hartline in this part 2 of his offensive coordinator journey?
It's strange to be in this spot where I feel like we've spent way more time in the last 6 months after Jim Knowles' departure saying, like, well, this is a big deal. What can Matt Patricia do? What's this Matt Patricia defense going to look like? His body of work, I think, tells you pretty securely that he knows what he's doing. He's going to be able to call defenses at a really high level for Ohio State. He's done it at the NFL level. He's done it at a championship level. Seems like dropping down to the Ohio State level, probably going to be able to do that. Now, we'll see. The tests come starting next month, as you mentioned. We talked about that on Tuesday evening. But as I was laying all that out, it made me think more differently about Ohio State in the offensive coordinator role, because Brian Hartline is doing this the first time.
Yeah.
If you have this level of confidence in Matt Patricia because of the body of work, well, that doesn't exist on the offensive side for Ohio State, especially coming off of a year where when Chip Kelly arrives, you're like, well, you know he can do it. He's done it at the NFL level. He's done it at a high level in college football. He doesn't have to be a head coach anymore. This is going to work. That's going to be great. And it did work. There are parts of the season, though, that Ryan Day could have been tempted to be like, hey, this isn't looking like I want it.
Yeah.
Which I think does lend itself to giving Brian Hartline a little bit of grace and opportunity to grow into the job in a way that he didn't get 2 years ago. So I wouldn't sit here and say, because of everything you outlined, I think that Brian Hartline has a great IQ, great level of aggression, great balance of aggression, great understanding of what it takes to build an offense around both the run game and the pass game, certainly what it takes to get the most out of the passing attack. But there is a difference of when you get to that next seat and the sticks are in your hands and you have to call it and it's on you every single time. Now, the way Ohio State structures this with Ryan Day, with Brian Hartline, with Tyler Bowen, with Carlos Lachlan, Keenan Bailey on down the road, it's a very collaborative effort throughout the week so that you get to Saturday and everybody sort of has a level of familiarity and comfort with what you're going to call. And it's not like, oh boy, there's 200 things that I have to worry about on every single snap. Like they've really narrowed that down, I think, to more of a science, but there is still the art part that you're going to feel some pressure the first time that you're having to do that in a game.
Yeah, it's not like you sitting there and playing the new college football game, or if you've played the EA Sports like NCAA games in the past. It's not where you just go out and you have an open playbook. I mean, to a certain extent you do, but they workshop all the offseason and they game plan where that playbook shrinks to 10 or 20% of whatever their actual playbook is to implement against different defensive strategies. So it's not like you're out there with 1,000 plays being like, hey, Julian or Lincoln, you guys need to know all 1,000. Now they do, but that's also what they workshop every week getting ready for game prep because they shrink that playbook down.
Isn't it great that the EA Sports video game players have repped every single play 1,000 times?
Yeah,
like that you can do whatever you want. Yeah. Those guys are amazing. Yeah. And that Julian Sain can throw it 75 air yards to Jeremiah Smith. It's awesome. Like that's real life. But I think knowing all of that and that Ohio State is going to build a game plan, they're going to scout the opponent, they know what they're going to try and do against every defense, and they're going to narrow it down to whatever, 40, 50, 60 plays that are at their disposal for every week. You still have to know the right time. You still have to know if there's an adjustment that you can make in game. You have to be able to see that, pick it up, adjust your tendencies, all that stuff. Like Brian Hartline is going to be doing this for the first time. And I think 2 years ago, we spent as much time as we've talked about Matt Patricia, we were talking about Brian Hartline.
Yes, we were.
And can he take over? Will Ryan Day continue to let him call plays and grow in his career? What are they doing in spring ball? How many times does he have the headset on? Is he going to get these calls off the tongue as easily as he needs to? Is he going to be able to rapid fire them out and develop a rapport with quarterbacks? And
all in a voice like this, too. That's when we get to Julian Sanders like a Keegle's helmet.
It's awful. Have you ever listened to any helmet comms? It is tough.
It sounds worse than that.
It does sound worse than that. And it sounds really bad if you're just even at practice and then you go into a 100,000-seat stadium too, whether you're at home or an opponent. And that's why you see a lot of quarterbacks, if you're watching on the YouTube stream, holding my ears because you literally can't hear anything else other than you're trying your hardest to decipher what they're saying. And that was a big storyline last year with them implementing helmet comms.
And developing your voice and clarity of communication and all that stuff. So that is Brian Hartline's job. And it's not a matter of sitting here and saying, well, what is Brian Hartline's offense going to look like? This is a very different conversation because the top of the pyramid is still Ryan Day. Even if he's not calling the plays, and even if he's spending less time specifically in the offensive meeting room, you know that his fingerprints are going to be all over it. And he's going to want to know, which is true to some extent on defense. What is the plan? What do we have for this? He's been more involved in that over the last couple of years, but increasingly so now with come tell me what we're looking at, what we've got, what we've narrowed down. So Brian Hartline's he has increasingly had a greater say in that. Mm-hmm. Ryan Day told me in Berm in February, it's a great example of the throwback misdirection touchdown to Jeremiah Smith in the championship game.
That was a lovely play.
So people wanted to think, oh, that's Chip Kelly dialing something up. He said, no, Brian Hartline, they were looking at this. They adjusted the footwork to try and trick Notre Dame into thinking it was going to be an end around like that. Mm-hmm. That was him. He's like, he's been doing.
Like it was going to be orbit motion.
That's
and
right.
He flips
all the way
back
across. Yeah. And so this has been happening more. And that's not just that. It was after Chip Kelly left, but it wasn't just to be like, well, Brian Hartline's here. Let's retcon this story and give him more credit. He's been doing that for quite some time. And Ryan Day would not have continued on this path when he has to replace Chip Kelly and be like, well, I guess now my hands are tied. Got to promote Brian Hartline.
Or you could go the other way and say, boy, I don't really know if I'm confident in him. I have to go back.
I'm going to take it back.
Yeah.
All the options are on the table.
Yeah. Especially
after a national championship. And Ross Bjork is not going to say, well, the pocketbook is closing here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This was a one-time offer for Chip Kelly, and you used up that coupon, and you don't get to use it again.
No, I think when you bring home that golden trophy, the checkbook opens up.
It opens up even wider. So that all lends itself to a belief, and I think a confidence maybe is more accurate, that Brian Hartline is going to do this at a really high level. And the next thing that he does that he doesn't do really well will be one of the first things in his entire life. I mean, when we talk about James Laurinaitis and his knack for this and picking things up, like I played with Brian Hartline in the coach's golf outing. It's like, well, I play once a year. I'm like, really? You just hit that drive 360 yards and you just
Put a wedge shot to 60.
You just chipped in from 50 yards out. Like, maybe you should play a little bit more because you might have a second career. You can moonlight on the senior tour when you turn 50. Whenever.
Don't be going all Hugh Freeze on us, though.
Yeah, don't go Hugh Freeze. But that's still like, what, 13 years down the road, 14 years from Brian Hartline? He's still got so much runway for his career. The ascent has been remarkable. Now, you still have to prove it once you get into that next seat. And I think that is one of the more fascinating subplots for this team. And in my mind, as much as I want to see what Matt Patricia's defense looks like, and that's different than because I don't expect dramatic changes for the Ohio State offense, and Brian Hartline gets annoyed. We ask these questions like, well, how are you going to call plays? What are you doing to get ready to call plays? All this.
I've been doing it, man.
He feels like this has been building for quite some time. It's just now that he has the microphone in front of him and he's talking into the headset. And it's not quite that simple, but in his mind it is. And Ryan Day believes he can do it, or else they wouldn't be barreling forward to July 31st with this still being the situation.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, isn't it? I mean, the intricacies I think are going to be a little bit different. Same thing with the Ohio State defense. Like if you're really watching the film, I think you can notice some differences that they're going to undertake. But I think if you're out there and you just watch like every single Buckeye game in live time and you don't go back and rewatch it and you're not like rewinding the tape to see the differences, I think it's going to look very much like it did in the past to the naked eye.
Yeah, I think so. And where you're looking for changes, again, this is the team that won the national championship. It's small tweaks. And they may be larger depending on how Ohio State proceeds at quarterback. So every conversation about this team and about defending the national championship ultimately is going to circle back to that. You have to get that part right. But that goes hand in hand. If Brian Hartline now has established this level of credibility with Ryan Day, that's like, hey, this is what I would like to do at quarterback. I mean, that could look very different depending on Julian Sayen's camp performance versus Lincoln Kienholz's camp performance, or both, because the skill sets are very different. And that decision is ultimately going to be made by Ryan Day. The buck stops at the top. But I think that there's certainly going to be an opportunity for Billy Fessler and Brian Hartline to both say, hey, well, we got to make this decision because then the offense will look like this for that guy or look like this for that guy.
Brian, I know you're listening. T formation, use it as much as you possibly can. It's the best formation in football. Today's question of the day brings us to who's in line to start next to Caleb Downs at safety for the Buckeyes this season. We'll answer that next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Got a teen athlete? Then you know putting in the hours is all part of the game. But did you know the same goes for learning how to drive? Because just like playing a sport, learning to drive takes practice. The only difference is the stakes are even higher. 50 hours of practice time driving with you? Worth every minute. Gear up at teachyourteentodrive.ohio.gov.
Hey there, I'm Brad. I'm about to win the Tuesday Night Bowling League Championship. Strike. I'm also a highway worker for the Ohio Department of Transportation. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I can bowl the winning strike with my buddies.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. When you see flashing lights, remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium, presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, community banking is the lifeblood of the American financial system, building strong, lasting relationships. We're just better able to help guide you down life's road. Flexibility is paramount to success. Community banking is alive and well in the Heartland.
I'm Scott McComb. Come on over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
The future of recycling is now at Rumpke Waste and Recycling. The recycling leader has opened North America's largest, most technologically advanced recycling center right here in Central Ohio. This one-of-a-kind facility features interactive displays, educational opportunities, and the ability to process over 60 tons of recycled material per hour. Rumpke is committed to recycling and sustainability efforts. And for more than 90 years, Rumpke has worked to make sure the items you place in your recycling bin get used again. Visit Rumpke.com to learn how you can team with Rumpke to put less trash in our landfills and more of it to good use.
This promo is for anyone who likes baseball or America or Terry Francona's scooter. The Reds are on the Fan. Catch all 162 games here on the Fan and 1460 ESPN Columbus and the Fan's HD2. Your home for Reds baseball, the Fan.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,500 off BX23S tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Visit BuckeyeKubotaDealers.com to find a dealer near you. Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safe Flight, Bob's Discount Furniture, and Weber, happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center July 31st through August 2nd. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2025 to purchase your tickets today.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Scattered showers and a few stronger thunderstorms possible through the end of this Wednesday with some gusty winds and heavy rain. Overnight will fall back down to the low 70s with partly cloudy skies and light winds. And after a warm and humid start, a hot and humid finish on Thursday. Temperatures near 90 degrees, but again the chance of some afternoon showers and storms. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
If you still have a weird rash from jumping in Mirror Lake, we can be friends. This is the Buckeye Show.
Hanging out with my guy Austin Ward. Reminder, tomorrow we're going to be out at Yogi's in Grandview. $3 course specials from 6 to 8. You can hang out with the Murph Dog and me. Well, insider's note, Jackets insider Jeff Sabota said he may or may not be making an appearance tomorrow.
Oh, my.
Yeah, how about that? Got a celebrity in the crowd for tomorrow's outing.
You guys have all the fun on Thursdays without me. Unbelievable.
I know we did. I know we do. And we're going to have fun tomorrow, too. It'll be a great time over there.
I was trying to line up a match against Jackets Insider for us this weekend and just
didn't pan out.
Falling through the cracks. We got to get that done, too.
Yeah, it happens. What was Dev Camp is why he couldn't play this year, right?
Yeah. Rookie camp, whatever it is, on the 5th of July.
I know it's a Canadian game.
It's disrespect.
You don't schedule a development camp on the 5th of July.
I mean, you have America's birthday the day before, and then everyone knows the Jackets Insider is in the field for the Marysville Marathon on the 5th or next year the 3rd.
Yeah, come on.
Show some respect.
Come on, Jackets. Let's go. I did see they released their schedule today. It looks pretty nice.
Saucy.
Yeah, looks like a nice little schedule for the Jackets. So I'm sure the guys from the Inside Edge will get you covered with all the Jackets talk you could possibly handle coming up.
I bet they'll do a much better job of breaking it down.
Yeah, you don't want to break down the full Jacket schedule? Come on, let's do it.
15 back-to-backs.
Yeah, 15 back-to-backs. But I did see, I think Porty tweet out that like 10 of their back-to-backs ended on the road last year, like the second leg of the back-to-back. This year it's just 8. All right, so we're down from 10 to 8 for
very generous
away legs on the back-to-back. Still over 50%, though.
Great.
Yeah.
NHL's always out to get the Jackets.
Yeah. First game of the season at the Preds down in Smashville, October 9th. Mark your calendars for that. Home opener, Devils, Monday, October 13th.
It's going to be a Columbus takeover in Smashville tonight.
Yeah, it is going to be. What's your prediction? 8:30 match for the Crew down there. The fake yellow team.
Feels like 7-0.
Yeah, no,
probably in line for me.
Does Gazdag get a goal?
That's where I'm at. Let's not go crazy, Beam. Easy, buddy.
Hey, everybody relax.
I like to keep things realistic around here.
Taha's getting a brace.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that much.
I don't know.
What was your question of the day?
Today?
Yesterday.
Yesterday's
We're
we're a day behind.
We're delaying the question.
I'm just teasing. I was asked about where I thought Malik Hartford was going to fit in. Because Spencer Holbrook had, last week he'd been breaking down pretty much everything in the safety room in the back of the secondary. Does a great job at Letterman Row. And I just try my best.
You guys just added a nice piece today, too, didn't you?
Yeah, we hinted at that last night. But Jeremy Birmingham is at Letterman Row as well. Imagine that. Just found another way to work with him.
Yeah,
so
shocking.
Moving forward, just can't get rid of that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, people are so much more excited for him to go to Letterman Row than me. It's crazy. He is so popular. And I'm not jealous at all. But so Spencer was writing about that, and he was making a case for either Malik Hartford. He wrote what the pros and cons would be for him. Jalen McClain over here, what this battle is going to look like. And I had chimed in that I thought, well, I really strongly believe that Malik Hartford is going to win that job. And so, some folks are like, well, why? Why do you feel so strongly about it? Because it's not just this tendency to rush to the next big thing. You and I have talked about that before, Beamer. You have the veterans coming back, and it's like, well, it's got to be the freshman or this guy coming off the year. 2 years ago at this time, or a month from now, Malik Hartford was having one of the most sensational true freshman training camps that I have ever heard or seen in my life. And I didn't see every practice, but the days that we were out there or the days that we were waiting for interviews, you would just hear over the mic, Malik Hartford, winner. Mm-hmm. So winner, loser, period, winner, Malik Hartford. Interception, Malik Hartford. So that's just going over and over. Like, my goodness, what is this guy doing?
Kid's putting on.
I was talking to Bob. I was talking to Zach Boren. They're saying, I think Malik Hartford's going to start. I said, no. I mean, there was an opportunity there, but that feels like too much too soon. And it kind of was. Some of the progress tapered off. You see so many of those flashes, and it was going to be hard to sustain that when you are playing any position, but especially safety and the responsibilities you have back in that defense. And Jim Knowles was famously using a safety-driven defense. There was a lot of responsibility on those shoulders. And some of that progress, the learning curve, the growth curve, it petered out a little bit. It tapered. He hit a plateau. He hit a freshman wall.
And that's fine. It's very natural for that to happen.
Not a problem at all. And he got one play in the game, and if he doesn't turn his head, he might get an interception on it. It still should have been an interception for his teammate, Denzel Burke. That's another matter. But because he hit that wall, and then he dealt with injuries as a sophomore, it sort of became this thing. It was like, well, maybe Malik Hartford can't do that. I'm just telling you, the way people talk about it, whether that's Matt Guerreri, due to the week with Mickey Marotti, whatever it is, this is dating back to February, March. They were incredibly high inside the Woody about what Malik Hartford could do. He backed that up in camp, and both he and Jalen McClain had an opportunity to take a lot of reps in March and April because Caleb Downs was rehabbing a little minor injury, and he didn't need the work because he's Caleb Downs.
Yep.
So they both had a chance to really get some of that action, and I like Jalen McClain a lot too. And I think, there's a world where Fahim Delane might have the same kind of training camp next month that Malik Hartford did 2 years ago. But Malik Hartford has now had the benefit of both going through on-field adversity and off-field adversity, and he didn't tuck his tail and run. He didn't give up and say, I started as a true freshman. Like, why am I not just automatically getting? He's fought back to earn opportunities that are ahead of him. And that doesn't mean that it's guaranteed he's going to get them on August 30th, but I would be very surprised, personally, if after all of this, after the way that Ohio State is evaluating him, after the progress he's made, getting a full healthy offseason, which he didn't get a year ago, to build then on some of that progress that got stunted or aborted or however you want to look at it in the end of that first year, it's full go now. It's been full go. And if he's able to stay healthy, I think that trend is going back and the arrow is pointing in the right direction again. And I'm really excited. I like those stories when you deal with that adversity and you're like, well, forget this. I'm out of here. Like this should be mine. He was injured and he was playing behind Lathan Ransom, Jordan Hancock, and Caleb Downs a year ago.
Yeah, that's a pretty stellar safety room.
And also that's fine. Pay your dues that way and learn. And I think that experience, both being on the field early and then having to watch those veterans and those stars play and, learning about yourself, going through injury, what you can tolerate, how you can bounce back. I'm going to be better for this. Those are my favorite kind of stories. It's cool to watch Jeremiah Smith get dropped off in his spaceship and be immediately good. Like, that's cool too.
That was an awesome story. I loved that story.
But the other one where you have to go through something, then to earn it, like
a la Carson Hensman this year.
Like, I love it. Yeah. That's the stuff that I really enjoy following and telling those stories more than anything else.
Well, the nice thing too, just to parlay kind of what we were talking about with Matt Patricia coming in, with Malik Hartford, what you're good at, what you're bad at will be identified, and they will find a spot for you to be able to be on the football field. Also, getting to learn from a guy like Lathan Ransom, it's got to be pretty nice. And then also having a security blanket and Caleb Downs right next to you, who has been in this defense before. And I know it's different under Matt Patricia, but they're going to keep the same language. Matt Patricia was open and adamant about that in spring ball, how they were just saying, like, it's my job to learn the language that they use here. We're not going to come in with a different language. It's my job. That's what I need to do. I think having it be the same language and the same exact, not the same exact defense, but the same thing that you've been learning for the last 3 years, and also having Caleb Downs next to you, and then having Jordan Hancock and Lathan Ransom to learn from, those are great opportunities in front of you. And sometimes you have to crawl through the muck to get to the spotlight, and that's what I think we're both thinking on the same page, that Malik Hartford's going to get to do that this year.
And the way he plays, Beamer, I mean, Malik Hartford wants to knock you out. Mm-hmm. He is, I guess from recent history, I'd say he wants to play the game like Josh Proctor. I think he's a much more...
Tell that to the Wisconsin quarterback.
Exactly. I think he's a much more refined version than Josh Proctor was, and Josh was one of my favorite guys to cover too. But I think that he can be a better version, and the senior version of Josh Proctor was invaluable for Ohio State. But I think that there can be, he wants to play physically, he wants to headhunt you, he wants to knock you in the dirt. And
Lathan did a pretty good job at that.
100%. But I think playing with that sort of style 2 years ago, he wasn't built to do that yet.
Interesting.
And I don't think that did him any favors as the season went on, the toll of the game, and then certainly last year when he was actually dealing with real injuries. You look at him now, if he wants to go hit somebody, he's not going to feel it. You're going to feel it. Yeah. You're not going to enjoy it.
The old adage, be the hammer, not the nail.
He looks like a hammer now. And when he got here, he could sometimes hammer you, but he was built like a nail. And you see him now, you would never confuse him. For which one of these do you use? Which is the tool?
Which is the nail?
That's the one over there, and he's going to hit you hard.
That's the one you use to smash things into the ground.
And I think that's going to be fun to watch, because if that means potentially that he could do some of this stuff in the box, and Caleb Downs plays like more towards center field, maybe there's more opportunities for him.
I'm a roamer, coach.
We'll see what that looks like. I'm excited for it.
I am too. It's very fun. Dabo Swinney. He's a little confused. We'll do that.
He is?
We'll do that in the Pulse coming up here in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on the Fan.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill, because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
The Donato's $5 Pizza Pals menu is adding some pals. Donato's savory and delicious family recipe meatballs are now on the Pizza Pals menus, along with new Oreo twists. Sweet, delicious pull-apart twists with real Oreo cookie pieces drizzled with vanilla icing. You can order unlimited $5 Pizza Pals with any large pizza. So order today and load up on all the Pizza Pals you want. Donato's. Gotta love more.
Experience Buckeye game day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club.
the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
It's time for the College Football Pulse on the Buckeye Show.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Hey, before we get into the pulse, I want to tell you that dropping just 25 pounds with Awaken 180 can give you 10 extra degrees of golf swing rotation. It's about a half a club longer. That'd be a full club if you're Austin. 6 to 10 extra yards on every swing.
No, I got 10 extra inches on my shot.
And from personal experience, losing 75 pounds like me, it's next level distance. Not really, but it is noticeable. Way better consistency, energy, and mood, even on the back nine, or the back nine of 36 holes. Take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame with Awaken 180. Online at awaken180weightloss.com. Nate Dogg, roll.
How's it going, gentlemen?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Doing all right. So we have commented in the past, sometimes Dabo is a little behind the times when it comes to football. He might be behind the times on a few other things, too.
Right? It's right there on Great Beach, little spot. So my brother or my sister-in-law, she's saying, hey, Brian Kelly has a place. His wife has a gift shop right on the corner there in Grayton Beach. I'm like, oh, really? That's pretty cool. I had no idea. So anyway, we go there, and I walk. So I go into the store. Me and Kath walking in the store. Kath buys something because she's trying to support Mrs. Kelly or whatever we're doing. So she buys something, and we go in the store, and I'm walking around. I go out, and they're like, yeah. And he's got a concert. He's going to have a concert in the back. So I'm like, okay, I'll walk out in the back. There's a little stage in the back, and there's like some, I think it's like fake grass or whatever, just a small little area. And it says Brian Kelly, performing live on this day, whatever. And I'm going, freaking hey, Brian Kelly can sing, play. I didn't know that. So I'm like taking pictures, and I'm sending it to Brian Kelly. I'm sending all these pictures of Brian Kelly, and then I'm going, I'll get on the stage, Brian Kelly, I'm just kind of having some fun. I'm like, hey, I got, and I sent all this to Brian Kelly. All right. Well, then the guy that was with my brother, he's walking over because Cass said something about, I don't know what she said. I just can't believe it, Brian Kelly. This is really cool. And she's, like we know we played them or something in the opener or whatever to the guy. And he's like, what? And as it turns out, there's another Brian Kelly, and he's like, what's the band? Anybody know? It's something Florida Georgia Line or something. I think it's called Florida Georgia Line or Georgia Florida Line Band. Florida Georgia Line Band, and he's like a lead singer or something. I haven't even heard their songs, but I don't know all these people's names. But I have no clue. So so now Kath goes, babe, it's Brian Kelly's a singer with Florida Georgia Line. And I went, what? I've been fired all these pictures off to Brian Kelly. He's over there probably going, what the hell? This is an idiot. What does this dude do? So anyway, good spirit. He doesn't know this. He'll know this now. But I was going to wait and tell him this when we got to, midfield or whatever, but this will save me we can just laugh about it. So I'm thinking this is like the Brian Kelly. I'm like, wow, he's going to perform live, a small crowd. His wife's got a shop. And so finally he sends me a text. He's like, man, that was great. He said, yeah, you just can't get away from Brian Kelly or something like that. And I'm sure he was like, I have no idea what the context of this is. But anyway, and then I realized that it wasn't. I'm like, oh my God. So anyway, we'll have a laugh over that.
Oh, good old Dabo.
The issue is not that he didn't know who the lead singer of Florida Georgia Line is. The issue is that it must have been that Brian Kelly.
There's only one Brian Kelly. Only one. And you know what? If I'm a Clemson fan and I'm listening to that, I feel great because I know that Dabo's only locked in on one Brian Kelly and one Brian Kelly only.
So this reminds me of my own Dabo story. He was...
I waffle so hard on Dabo. Like, sometimes I'm like, ugh, dude, you're so cringy, I can't handle you. And then other times I'm like, this is great. This is fun.
Sometimes it's accidental cringe. So they're getting ready at the Orange Bowl press conference in 2013. Dabo and Urban are up there, and he walks up to shake his hand, and Dabo says to Urban, "Hey, I had a great time with Shelly last night."
Oh.
And Urban goes, "What did you say?" Because, it was like the coaches, out at dinner, and the families are all there. But Urban is just like staring daggers
through
What
him.
did you say? And Dad was like, I don't know. And then they just start the press conference. It's like, that was it. It's like, Urban is never going to talk to you again. He's one of one. I don't know. I always found him like too cringe, and I hated the press conference because Dabo told that story, and it lasted like 5 minutes of our segment.
Yeah, it did.
In his press conference, he would fill up 90% of the time. If it was a coach and a coach, you don't have time to ask Urban or Ryan Day a question. It's over. Like, Dabo's going to filibuster his way through the craziest stories that you've ever heard. And I've seen that one. I don't know if he remembers the Orange Bowl press conference in 2013, but I guarantee you Urban does.
Here's a note if you meet Urban on the streets. Don't say, I had a great time with Shelly last night.
No. Don't say that to anyone.
No,
about their wife.
That's a good idea as well, but especially before and a very competitive man
Not the
wanting
most-
to rip your throat out of your neck.
Yeah, the most ruthless competitor that you're probably ever going to meet. Baby, don't bring that up.
Oh man, that's classic Dabo right there. Tyler, how about that? Was good from a couple of years ago too. Nate, what else you got for us tonight?
All right, Kirby was on Sirius XM Radio, and Kirby was whining more SEC teams were in the playoffs.
Well, I think it's the selection process that comes about. How are the teams going to be selected? The at-large teams, whether that's 5'11" or that's the AQ, and they still have some at-large, is who's selecting them and what are they going about to do it? I just don't feel like it's equitable or fair to say that the loss column is the only column that matters. I think then historically that's what we've looked at. I mean, when you looked at the rankings of who was at the brink of getting in, we only have a small sample size of the 12-team playoff, super small. But when you look at it, it's just, okay, well, how many losses do they have? Rick,
take it the easy way.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Who are you taking neutral site? Indiana and Ole Miss, Indiana and Alabama, and Indiana and South Carolina. I would love to hear you on air tell me who you're picking.
I'm taking the SEC team every time.
Okay, well, that inherently
on air. I said that on air.
That inherently for me, and I'm not picking on anybody. I want the best teams to be able to go in, and if that's 10 Big Ten teams, then that's what it should be. But they would argue there's going to be bias in that. I would argue history and NFL draft picks and attendance and all the things that go into picking the best players. I mean, go to the NFL teams and ask them who they think the best teams are and who they want to see play each other. They want to see each of these teams play each other.
Yeah, attendance is a big factor, and if a team's good or not.
Yeah.
Thanks for your thoughts, Kirby.
It's the biggest factor, I think.
Not picking on anybody, but
if you're
Indiana,
Ole Miss, South Carolina,
if only Indiana had to play Vanderbilt, Michigan's backups, and Oklahoma last
Kentucky,
year. And
right?
Kentucky.
Don't forget about Kentucky either, Nate. Don't forget about them in there.
Who am I picking against Indiana and Ole Miss? I'm absolutely picking the Hooters. Hooters. Well, that's what.
Whoa, that's who.
Yeah. I learned. I got the lesson on Tuesday. Yeah. Hooter. See that? That's how they said it.
Hoosier.
That's how it translated to Hoosiers later on. That's what I learned yesterday. Never mind.
Yeah. Listen, I understand the argument. I get it. He is prepping up his conference, and he's also there with guys. And I think it was Dusty Dvorak and Rick Neuheisel and Chris Childers, who does XM Radio. Like, they're all very good, and they're down there. They're covering the SEC. Why you got to pick on Indiana? Like, why can't you say, well, what about Ole Miss and South Carolina and Alabama on a neutral field against Penn State or Ohio State? Like, who are you picking in that game, It was a one-off. This is the greatest season Indiana's ever had.
Who are you picking, Beamer, Ole Miss against Kentucky?
I'm picking Kentucky.
Yeah,
I'm picking a guy on the hot seat in Mark Stoops.
Look,
or Bob.
I think
or whichever Stoops family member that you want to credit covering that coaches Kentucky.
Anyone, any Stoops at any time, just roll with them. I don't disagree with the fact that the selection committee gets it wrong. They have a hard job. We say that every single year, and it's difficult. And sometimes they make it more difficult than it needs to be. I don't think it's wrong.
I've yet to see compelling evidence that they were wrong last year.
I'm not saying that they were wrong last year. I don't necessarily agree that SMU was befitting of a spot in the playoff personally, and that was proven pretty quickly. But that doesn't matter.
It also doesn't mean that Alabama, Ole Miss, or South Carolina were either.
I think there's just enough resentment carrying over from years where 4 versus 5, or they would get the 6 and 7 and 8 wrong when they would put out the final rankings, that they haven't earned the benefit of the doubt. And that's not to pick on the first year of 12, because the playoff is what it is. And we said yesterday, there's not going to be 12 teams that can actually win the national championship. So at that point, it becomes splitting hairs, and you may get it wrong and it may not matter.
I think that's the biggest thing, Austin. There's just year in, year out. There's not going to be 12 teams, or if they go to 16, there's not going to be 16 teams that can actually be viable to compete for a national championship.
Yeah.
To win 4 games in a row. It's not going to happen.
I do think I would love if there was a way to remove some of this human element where it's just such a small selection committee.
BCS, baby.
We joke about it. I think the computers are probably a better way forward.
AI's made great leaps and strides since when we last saw it.
Well, yeah, but also like they're not clearly biased, like we saw with the NCAA tournament basketball, and also we've seen, if you have to recuse yourself from voting, and now we're going down from 12 to 11 or 12 to 10, like it's ridiculous to put that level of faith in these amount of people when they're human beings. They bleed real blood.
They do. You made me bleed my own blood, LaFleur.
So
How dare you?
That is the one part of the Tony Petitti plan where I'm like, well, that at least gives you a clearer path, clearly defined path for how you're going to get to the playoff. The math is still ridiculous, but
let the math experts worry about the math, all right?
If you're Kirby Smart, here's the issue. On the one hand, you're saying you don't believe that the selection committee can get it right. And on the other, you're saying, well, let's have 11 at-large teams. Those two ideas don't go together.
No, they don't.
Sorry.
That's not how that works.
Ask for something else.
Hashtag Buckeyes coming at you next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But with an unpredictable economy and the future feeling uncertain, you're wondering if that equity will still be there when you're ready. What if you could bank that equity right now? With Truehold, you can sell your home for its current value, so you can access your equity today. You can bank the cash now and stay in the home you love with an easy standard lease. Truehold even covers property taxes, insurance, and repairs. And since Truehold hands over your equity in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't let a shifting economy put your hard-earned equity at risk. Visit Truehold.com and receive their competitive offer on your home in just 48 hours, based on its current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a Buckeye, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce. And jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safe Flight Bob's Discount Furniture and Weber, happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center July 31st through August 2nd. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2025 to purchase your tickets today.
The best outcomes for treating cancer come from early detection and early diagnosis.
The James Cancer Diagnostic Center at Ohio State
is designed to provide rapid evaluation and a clear diagnosis.
We are transforming care by giving patients direct access.
To cancer experts who study and treat cancer every day.
If you think you have cancer, the choice is clear.
Choose the James Cancer Diagnostic Center.
Hello, Big Voice Guy here. I've been hired to tell you all about the Fan's YouTube channel. Did you know you can immerse yourself in Buckeye goodness like Austin and Berm's daily podcast, The Beat? Yes, sirree, Bob. Subscribe today.
Men, the summer is here. Longer days, warmer nights, and romance in the air. Intimate dinners, walks on the beach, dancing in the moonlight. But if you have erectile dysfunction, you know it can ruin romance, both for you and the one you love. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you have ED, don't let another summer go by without getting treated, because intimacy is one of the greatest things in life, and fear of not being able to perform should not be something you have to deal with. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated tens of thousands of men. Our protocols work when others don't, and we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. You could even last up to an hour or more and perform like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Accurate Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Social media can be a cesspool. Allow us to navigate the waters. #Buckeyes.
Sponsored by The Waterworks. Call the plumbing, heating, and cooling technicians at The Waterworks and header today. Call 614-232-2222. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
We hear on the Buckeye Show, brought to you by our great friends over at Coors Light. When those mountains are blue, you know those suckers are as cold as the Rockies. Coming up here, 7 o'clock, the Inside Edge. Get you going. Little Jackets talk. Schedule released today. All kinds of good stuff coming up with Bobby Mack and Dylan. Little news from Ohio State, Austin, in the probably last hour or so. Was reading this on Letterman Row from Mick Walker, who we actually had on Monday evening when Pat and I were doing the show. In-state cornerback Jacob Weatherspoon flips from Ohio State to North Carolina. 4-star Avon cornerback Jacob Weatherspoon flipped his commitment from the Buckeyes to the Tar Heels about an hour ago. Here's what Mick says. Losing Weatherspoon not only leaves the Buckeyes short a cornerback this cycle, but also continues the trend of in-state prospects looking to leave Ohio. He goes, what does it mean for the class and what's next? Let's focus on the what's next category. At this point in the recruiting cycle, the only real option for Ohio State to flip prospects from the schools they're currently committed to, and the only uncommitted cornerback in the top 40 of the Rivals cornerback rankings is 4-star Devon Benjamin out of California. He did visit Ohio State last fall, but he's down to a top 2 of Michigan and Oregon. With that in mind, Walton, the Buckeyes recruiting department, will get back to work evaluating more cornerback prospects over the next few months. A few possible targets: 4-star Georgia commit Justice Fitzpatrick, 4-star Nebraska commit Danny Odom. Ohio State was actually in the running for Danny Odom right down to the wire before his commitment to Nebraska just about a month ago. And then 3-star Penn State commit Jazel Hart. Sting factor, 8 out of 10.
It's a high one. Yeah. This was not a decommitment that, or a flip, or both, that Ohio State was anticipating, especially from an in-state product. And especially because once that OG, once Tim Walton gets the hooks in him, he tends to have a lot of success, especially, developing them on campus, the reputation. You go through the Devin Sanchez recruitment, you got to feel like pretty good. You're having the best of the best that are signing up to want to play for Ohio State, playing for BIA, compete for championships. They definitely aren't accustomed to losing battles like this, especially to North Carolina specifically.
It's an in-state kid, too.
In-state kid, losing it to North Carolina.
Ohio from Avon.
And so, it seems like this, if you read the tea leaves and you try and figure it out, I mean, it feels like he was taking some visits that maybe Ohio State was not fully aware of, maybe open to other NIL opportunities. We'll find out more about that in the days and months ahead, I'm sure. That seems to be the case here. You never want to say that it's just one thing or just another thing for a recruitment. It can come down and boil down to a lot of different factors, but this is one, whatever it is, Ohio State wasn't anticipating, and it leaves them in a spot where they want to have elite corners, multiple in every class. They definitely don't want to, when there's one in their backyard, they don't want them to leave the state. So this will, 8, I mean, Mick and Berm, they might bump that up to a 9 at some point, but it will depend. the sting factor on what they're able to do from here, because they still have.
Also, it's recruiting, so
anything can change. Anything can change. They still have 5 months ahead of them, whether that's this recruitment or finding somebody else that's out there. You mentioned Odom. They have room ahead of them. Not just because you've committed, as we're just proving right here, doesn't mean that everything is signed, sealed, and delivered.
No, it surely doesn't. That one stinks. That's a nice little Wednesday night sting out there for the Buckeyes, but I'm sure they'll get back on the recruiting trail, Austin, and everything will be just fine. Before we get out of here tonight, again, Inside Edge coming up top of the hour. Our fan poll at 971thefan.com or on X at 971thefan. Will you be waking up earlier than you normally do on Thursday or Friday to watch the Open Championship?
On Friday, I'm waking up earlier than normal because
you're doing the juice on Friday. Tito.
Popping in with the morning juice with Tito.
And then you're coming back at 6 o'clock in the evening to hang out with me. You're on both sides of the dials that day, big dog.
6 a.m. and 6 p.m. You can catch Austin Ward on Friday. Hopefully you'll tune in to one or both. I'd appreciate it if you did.
Yeah.
Let them know.
We'd all appreciate it.
We will actually be able to test if a broken clock is right twice a day.
Yes, we will.
Gets 6 to 8 both times as well. Wow, how about that?
Well, the good news, the way that studio is configured as well, is that the TV is behind you.
Great.
So you won't be able to see it anyways.
Perfect. Well, I have a phone. I'll bring in the laptop. I'll get multiple screens going. So, Tito's going to want to watch the golf too.
Oh, I know. They had Gerber on today giving out his picks.
He's a golf nut just like we are.
Yeah.
So, I will wake up earlier than normal on Friday. I promise you. I don't know if I will do that tomorrow.
Meredith and I, we've made a pact over the next few days. Told you we're potty training.
Yeah, you're not sleeping in the next 3 days anyway.
Yeah, so, we're not focusing on nighttime, really. We're still going to put the nighttime diaper on him and everything. But today, I feel like we had a situation, and any parent out there can describe this. Like, maybe you take a couple of steps forward, and then you take a mile leap backwards. So he got up around 6 o'clock, and we made an oath. Usually, like, she lets me sleep in a little bit, or I'll get up and she can sleep in. We made an oath. We made a pact. We said, today we're both getting up at the same time. Like, we're just doing it. We're both getting up with him. And the strategy now for potty training is just like letting them run around with no clothes on and just like honing in like a hawk to see like what they're doing and if they're peeing on the ground or making another mess on the ground. So we get through, we get like 2 hours in, and we're just pumping him full of liquids, like just pumping him full of it. Like, at some point, dude, this dam is going to break. And so he's going on the floor a little bit. We're like, hey, dude, you need to use the potty. Go ahead and do that. He sits down on it. Boom, goes. We're like, all right, good. That's awesome. 20 minutes later, without even prompting him, sits down, goes. We're like, all right, round of applause. This is going way better than we expected it to go. We're thinking we're in the clear.
You did it, guys.
We're feeling pretty good. We forgot to think about the other component in potty training, which would be number 2.
Oh, yeah.
So
there are 2 parts.
Yeah, there are 2 parts. Sometime at the same time. So we're hanging out. We're playing upstairs. He's having a good time. And all of a sudden, he's just going, eh. And I'm like, oh, no, what's happening? I'm like, sit down on the potty. Hurry, quick, sit down on the potty. We got to the potty, and there was a trail of there was a nice trail behind him, and then that spooked him. The rest of the day, he won't sit on it. I texted Meredith a half hour ago. I'm like, hey, how's it going? Are we back to like doing number 1? Nope, won't do anything. She's like, I had to let him outside. I just had to let him just stand and pee on the grass. I'm like, what is he, our dog? I'm like, that's
not in the manual.
That's not in the manual. But I guess he was in so much pain that she was like, you need to just, I need a little bit of reprieve here. She texted me. She's like, do I quit? We're 12 hours into this, and our household is just falling apart. Dog is terrified because we're all running around, really focused on him. He's obviously terrified. It's been a tough day.
He said, you can't go out in the backyard. This is my domain. Now we're going to get sibling rivalry going? Parenting is just a blessing.
We've lost control of the house.
No.
Not that we've had control of it in the past, but we've lost control of it more today.
You don't need it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Let the boy learn.
Yeah. Again, I'll tell you this. I've never met an adult so far that doesn't know how to use one.
Seems like there's a pretty high success rate.
Yeah.
They must have picked it up somewhere.
I just don't know how long that success is going to take to kick in. That's the problem.
It'll be there before you know it.
You think?
Yeah.
He starts daycare in like a month.
I gave you our insight.
I know. And you were zero help.
And I think that's why Mayor's like, you know what? I quit today.
Yeah.
We're going to pass this off to daycare. They're going to handle it.
why are you paying daycare? Let them handle that.
That's their job.
Yeah, right?
I mean,
the exorbitant fees that they charge, that's your job.
Big babysitting, just racking in the bucks.
Seriously.
What a deal they've got.
So yes, I'll be up early watching the Open Championship on Thursday and Friday.
With just a rabid, naked baby.
Yeah,
running around.
one eye.
Baby, he's not a baby.
One eye. No, he's 2 and change.
Yeah, toddler.
Yeah. Which
little dude. I don't know.
Creates a lot of poop and a lot of pee.
Good for him.
Yeah, it's fun. Are you going to Lower.com Field tonight?
I don't think so. We checked the forecast. It looked a little dicey. And then a late start with Lib. We don't want her at 8:30 there. So.
Austin, had a great time with you tonight. I will see you again on Friday. Murph and I back out at Yogi's in Grandview tomorrow from 6 to 8. The Inside Edge is up next right here on The Fan.
Bobby Carpenter demands that you watch Morning Juice on YouTube. If you don't, Tito will move into your house.
Live at 6 a.m. on YouTube and streaming on the Fan app.
Skyline is introducing a new chicken chili. Come get that world-famous Skyline flavor you love with a new protein option. Try the new Skyline chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. At Columbus Skyline locations only while supplies last.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Bourbon. Cherry Valley Hotel will be hosting a bourbon event called Neat on Saturday, July 26th from 4 to 9 p.m. Explore 15 distilleries, including Woodford, Middle West, and Watershed, along with live music, a cigar bar, classes, and more. For more information, visit cherryvalleyhotel.com.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. And no matter what tasty choice you make, our low prices add up to big savings. Plus, you get over $600 in digital coupons each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump and points. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance is prepared for what's next and protects what matters most to you. With independent insurance agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova Insurance is an easy win for your peace of mind. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.